Welcome to a new special series called The Bathroom Break. That extra 10 minutes you either have to listen to marketing tips or use the bathroom or both. But I don't recommend both, but that's your choice.
This collab's going to be super fun. We have Daniel Murray from the Marketing Millennials and me, Jay Schwedelson from the Do This Not That podcast and subjectline.com. Each episode in the series, we are going to go over quick tips about different marketing topics. And if you want to be in the bathroom, fine, just don't tell us about it. Thanks for checking it out.
Welcome back to The Bathroom Break. I'm here with the man, the myth, the email legend, Jay Schwedelson. Even though he doesn't like to be called the email legend because he's more than email.
Deeper than that.
Deeper than that. And I'm Daniel Murray. The question I have for you before we get kicked off, Jay, is what TV shows are you hitting up this week or have you watched?
Yeah, so I'm pretty deep into Selling Sunset, the new season, even though that whole thing seems so fake to me. And then clearly The Golden Bachelorette, which is just started. We're in the second episode. So I'm super focused on all this. And The Penguin, which launched on Max, which is the origin story of the character in Batman. So I'm watching some pretty intellectual stuff. What are you all in on?
Actually, I just saw something that the first episode of Penguin got 5-6 million views, which is
It was
crazy.
sick. It was so good.
But it hasn't been promoted that much, so that's crazy that got so many views. But I will watch the Penguin because I am a big DC superhero fan. So me and Ari did put on Selling Sunset, but I just don't. It's just so cringy. Some things they say.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
But today we're going to talk about focus and not checking boxes when it comes with content. But I want to kick it off. What do you have to say about focusing on the channel versus putting out a bunch of content on a bunch of platforms and just checking that box?
Yeah, that's what my company used to do. We used to come out with content and we'd say, okay, did we post it on X? Did we post it on LinkedIn? Did we post it on Instagram? Did we send it out via email? The same piece of content, same format. And then we'd be like, okay, we got it out everywhere. Great. High five. And we would get little no engagement, little no value, and it would do nothing for us. I'm like, this can't be the way. And then I started to, basically follow what, playbooks like of what you do and others do, where to be more intentional about one platform. And it was like game changer. I mean, do you agree? Are you all in on focusing?
Yeah, I have this theory that it's better to be A plus on a platform than D or C average on or below average on all these other platforms. Because the goal in marketing in general is and the goal of social media is attention. You're on there to steal attention from that platform for your company. I don't care what other people say. It's really there for attention on a rented platform. That's the reason why people should be on social media. A lot of people think of it in a different way, but I think of it as just a place to get attention for your company to stay top of mind, or yourself to stay top of mind for days and weeks and months and years. That's what you should be thinking about.
And so I have a question for you, because you are big on LinkedIn. You got over 1 million followers all in on LinkedIn. And so you spent energy building that up. And now I've seen you intentionally, looks like you've gone over to Instagram in addition to LinkedIn, and you're building up an audience pretty rapidly there. Why did you decide LinkedIn was the next platform that you wanted to do and not, let's say, X or whatever?
Yeah, so start on LinkedIn because I knew my audience was on LinkedIn, and then Instagram. I know marketers are on Instagram. I tested it out. I started getting traction, but the reason why once you've built out a platform, why it's easier to move to another platform is the ideas on that platform still work. So the concepts of posts still work on other platforms. The difference is the formatting and how you post that concept is different. So, for example, on LinkedIn, There's a couple ways you can get attention. You can have do a meme. You could do a single static post. You could do video content. Those are ways to get in the algorithm and get attention. But for example, IG, you have to really either, if you want to scale, there's two ways to scale. Is like you have to create content that gets shared, because that is the number one metric on Instagram. Is how do I get more people to click that share button, to share in the DMs, share it on a Slack channel, share. So you have to create content that you would share in a Slack channel. So that's why when we were testing platforms, we I saw there was some smaller marketing accounts getting attraction. I saw people with marketing, bigger people growing followings, and Gary Vee's been there on there for a while. So I knew there was an audience there. You just have to figure out how you're gonna change it. I don't think X is a bad. I think X is a great platform for marketers, but the reason I think it's hard is it doesn't have that high organic reach like IG does and with Reels. So I just go to platforms that are easy to get that reach quick, because that's how you build up a following, is using the algorithm for your benefit.
Yeah, and it's also, I think the other big thing is realizing how you have to speak on different platforms. I think the mistake that people make, and this is a mistake I made, was I said, okay, I'm doing okay on LinkedIn. My company's doing okay, though. Let's take that content. We want to expand out into Instagram. And, we're going to take, these stats or these trends. We're going to post the same thing on Instagram and it's going to be fine. But when people are on Instagram, they're in a different mindset. It's much more personal. They want to see much more kind of point the camera at yourself type content. They're not interested in kind of this static work mode type stuff. They want engaging visual stuff. And every platform is like that. I mean, Reddit is different than X, and X is different than TikTok, and TikTok is different than YouTube. And so you really have to take the time to understand how people are communicating each platform, and then decide, can I structure my content for that platform? You cannot just do a control C, control V, because I'm telling you it's going to fail. When we started up originally our Instagram page, it was terrible and it embarrassed our brand. I was like, take that page down. It's actually a boat anchor. It makes us look like a loser. And so you don't want that. You don't want to look like a loser. That's my rule of life.
I think there's two things you just said there. I think one, also the reason I didn't go on YouTube and TikTok or X is a resource thing. I knew
Yeah.
that I could dominate those other platforms. If I had the resource to go to YouTube, I probably might have gone to um, YouTube. Also, one thing you also said about looking bad, there's something in the market when you hit that checkbox called negative signal. Like if you sending negative signal that you're not the expert or you are checking boxes, why would people want to work with a company that just checks boxes?
Right.
And that's what if you're on a platform, you have to, every post should be thought about. Like might be the first post that someone new in my audience sees. So if you're checking boxes, you're not, that mindset is not what you're thinking about. You're just trying to hit a content calendar. Same with email, same with everything, is you got to have that mindset that there are new subscribers in my audience. There are new followers in my page. If I put out this piece of content, would this look bad for new people? Because if it looks bad, you're turning off some raving fans and some new people that just joined your audience.
Yeah, it's so true. You mentioned content calendars, and they're both the best and worst things to me. They're great because I love the organization aspect of it, but it's also like sometimes I'm like, you can't just set it and forget it, right? Things are moving too fast. That's just, you want to be on top of trends, on top of things. So love content calendars, but you have to structure it in a way where you can react to like what is going on the planet in that moment. All right. So before we wrap up here, we talked about TV shows on the way in. All right. Are you like, is there anything coming up, any show, any movie that you're like, I'm definitely going to see this? Or are you like, no, I'm watching repeats of Amazing Spider Man 2 with Mr. Freeze?
Well, I think I mean, it's so crazy because like shows now, it's hard to track when they come out, and you only really know like a week before they come out. It's just like, but I did watch The Perfect Couple. That was a great show.
Oh, you know
And
what? I just saw Nicole Kidman said she thinks that there should be a season 2. How about that?
it was great. It gave me kind of like White Lotus and Nantucket
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
You had that little dance at the beginning where White Lotus had that weird music at the beginning. But also it's Gilmore Girls season, so fall.
Wow. Dropping a bomb here that Daniel Murray's into Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
I will use
Ari
that for
got
a
me
long
into
time.
yeah, Ari got me into Gilmore Girls, and now every fall we have to watch Gilmore Girls. It's just a thing.
Listen, everybody drop Daniel a DM and ask him about the Gilmore Girls, and we should be making memes about this. This is going to change everything.
I had to put up shockers on this show just because
Wow.
I
I'm
mean, like
completely
when everybody hears you like watch The Bachelorette and all this shows,
right.
people are shocked. You got to put some shockers out there.
Dude, when we release this episode, it is going to be titled Daniel Murray watches Gilmore Girls. That is what I'm titling this episode. 100%.
I'm not ashamed. Borla and
Clearly.
Rory are goats. You know, they're
Wow.
goats.
What an episode this is. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Daniel, come on, man. I got to get back to work. Get out of there. All right. While he's still in there, this is Jay. Check out my podcast, Do This, Not That, for marketers. Each week, we share really quick tips on stuff that can improve your marketing, and I hope you give it a try. Oh, here's Daniel. He's finally out.
Back from my bathroom break. This is Daniel. Go follow the Marketing Millennials podcast, but also tune into this series. It's once a week, the bathroom break. We talk about marketing tips that we just spew out, and it could be anything from email subject line to any marketing tips in the world. We'll talk about it. Just give us a shout on LinkedIn and tell us what you want to hear. Peace out.
Later.